The 7 Steps to a Successful Student series is brought to you by the Student Loan Finance Corporation and iHelp College Planning Services. For more information on preparing your student for college, please visit us at ihelploan.com. This is a big one, folks, in our second installment. How do you pay for college?
What I want to reinforce here, I know there are lots of scary headlines out there about increasing college costs. There are a great number of resources, however, available to you as students. Unfortunately, you're not going to find out about those and probably until more towards the end of your selection process, maybe in March of your senior year. However, along the way, you'll need to apply for scholarships. You'll need to apply for need-based financial aid. You'll need to ask questions along the way. There may be local resources that you'll qualify for. So indeed, it really is an all of the above kind of situation you're in.
I've got my top choice. I'm in.
Great.
I'm not on a basketball scholarship. How do I pay for this?
For anyone who is concerned at all about college costs, you need to complete the financial aid process, following something called the FAFSA, the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. We'll probably talk about that a little later. The other thing you need to do is be aware of the kinds of institutional aid that may be available to you at the different schools you're applying to. That may be in the form of scholarship, it may be in the form of other need-based or grant assistance, it may be in the form of work-study. So there are a myriad number of opportunities available to you. The college does assume this is a partnership between your family who bears the primary responsibility, but colleges endeavor to be a good partner as well as the state and federal government if you demonstrate need.
Are we talking about private? Are we talking about government aid? And how do I really know what I'm going to qualify for?
You're going to know what you qualify for by going through the process, meeting the deadlines of the different forms that will be required, primarily the FAFSA form. There may be institutional forms that you need to submit as well. Again, I'll encourage you to become familiar with supplemental scholarship programs that may be available at the different schools you're considering. You need to submit timely applications to those as well. The financial bit is one of the last pieces that comes into focus. It will be late March in many cases before you understand the true bottom line.
How do I get free money for college?
You need to give yourself every opportunity to be considered for the range of resources that are available. And then trust the process. I know that's a scary thing to say, but trust it because there are any number of resources, as I mentioned, that are out there. Often it will be in grant assistance. The federal and state governments will have programs available to you should you demonstrate need. Many institutions, in fact, most institutions will also have supplemental grant programs, often in the form of scholarship. Again, that's a kind of free money. You would not be responsible for paying that back. Loans will often be a part of the equation, and you'll need to come to some comfort level about what kind of loan burden you're willing to bear.
So there's a great question that's come to us. What can I do to make sure I'm not applying for the wrong type of financial aid from you?
I think the best kinds of resources out there are the gift aid. That could, I guess, translate as free to a degree. Again, the kind of grant and scholarship assistance that is available at many schools. Work study may be a great option. Now, you do have to spend time at your job, as it were, often 8 to 10 hours a week, and you do get a paycheck for that. But that lets you have walking around money, as it were, and I think a great way to help defray some of your college costs. Loans will be something that you will consider. There's a Stafford program that's available to every student in the country who's admitted and trying to figure out how to pay for college costs. There are limits on the amount that you can take out, and I think those are common sense limits.
Is there a checklist available? Is there a simple way to know that I haven't settled for second best?
Again, I will encourage you to spend time working with your admission professionals at the different schools you're considering. We are resources for you in that regard. We have any number of ways to explain to you the particular institutional aid programs that are available to you. We're also fairly knowledgeable, indeed, about the federal and state programs for which you may qualify as well. Those are the best and I think greatest resources that you'll need to consider.
When is the best time to start looking for financial aid? How much lead time do I need to allow myself?
That primary gatekeeper, the FAFSA form, is based on current tax year information, which means the earliest you can submit it is January of next year. So it behooves you to actually, if at all possible, complete your family's and your students' tax forms before you actually submit your FAFSA. If that's not a practical thing to do in your particular case, then you can always submit estimated information based on the previous year's tax forms. So that's where I'd start. File that FAFSA as soon as you can after the first of the year.
Do I have to know what college I want to attend? Can I start this process without that?
Absolutely, absolutely. And in fact, you're going to be very late in the game figuring out which college it is that you particularly do want to attend. You'll be working from a list of 5 or 6, 7, maybe 8 schools that you've discerned will be good matches and good fits for your strengths and needs as a student. So yes, you will have that list in hand. You will work those options. I guarantee you, in my experience, if you have 5 or 6 good options, at least one of them, the money thing is going to work out. The admission question is going to work out. Frankly, in most cases, you're going to have several options that you'll be sorting through, sitting around the dinner table in April trying to figure out which may be a better option for me.
We've got questions. Yes, ma'am, you have a question for Ned.
Yeah. You had mentioned free money. Could you be more descriptive as to where you would get this free money?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? It's not in the back corner, I promise you. But at any rate, probably a better description would be gift aid, meaning those are resources that are awarded to your student that he or she's not responsible for paying back. Examples would include the Pell Grant program. Examples might include institutional aid. Examples might include scholarship. These are all kinds of dollars that help defray your college costs that you are not responsible for paying back.
Can I ask another question?
Ask another question, sure.
A while ago, I had read an article, and it said as far as getting your child through college, like parents should count on paying 30%, and they could hope for 30% scholarships and 30% like loans. Is that true, or?
I'm sure there are several different guidelines out there that will talk about the distribution of resources that may be available. As I say, the primary responsibility for the cost of education is assumed to lie and rest with the family. And the FAFSA is a tool to measure the kinds of resources that a family does have to meet that obligation. And then institutions and the aid programs that are out there do their best to try to make that possible in any particular given situations.
Okay, another question on the floor.
Yes, you mentioned free money, scholarships, gifts. What happens when you get to the end of the process and you find you still need more money?
It's a great question. Ooh. Yeah, there are additional programs available called the PLUS program. It's the parent loan program that's that the families can borrow up to the full cost, really, of a particular college that you're considering. That is based on a parent's credit worthiness. If for some reason the parent or mentor or guardian rather does not qualify for a PLUS loan, then there is an additional program for students to take out a loan.
You had talked about the work-study program, and you said it was walking around money, so that's not something that has to go towards tuition, but it can be put in the student's pocket?
It is money that goes directly in your pocket that will help defray ongoing college costs. That could include books, laboratory fees, other things as well.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. For more information on paying for college, please visit us at ihelploan.com or call 1-800-645-7404.